Tit for Tat is a program with passionate people discussing the things they love. Adult language and themes will be used. Listener discretion is advised.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Tit for Tat. With me, as always, is Jay Bowman. Say hi, Jay.
Sorry, I had a vaporizer in my mouth. I was trying to think of what to say.
And joining us...
Outside of that, at some point in time, all of these moments shall be washed like tears in the rain.
Yeah.
I watched Blade Runner. Fuck you guys.
Awesome movie, well worth a watch, well worth the reference. And joining us is Antonio Mangala.
Do you make it sound like I'm sort of evil German doctor or something?
It's better than sounding Mexicano.
Okay, well that's better. Thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here.
So
this afternoon,
tonight we're probably going to go down nostalgia lane, the thing that brought us all little nerdlings to the TV every Saturday morning, cartoons. And then Saturday morning cartoons died and we got Cartoon Network, which was cool, but it wasn't the same.
It's down memory lane.
So let's start out right. What is the show, the cartoon that gave you that absolute woohoo! I gotta get up, and go watch it now episode when you were growing up?
For a second there, I thought it was Speedy Gonzalez. You were channeling Speedy Gonzalez or something.
He's on my list, but yes, that was how I ended my morning. Every Saturday morning was Looney Tunes for an hour.
For me, it would be. I mean, my earliest memory is He-Man, for sure.
Ooh, I'm sorry.
It wasn't that bad. I mean,
stock reused footage, talked over intro instead of an actual song, unrealistic body proportions, and then a half-hour commercial for toys that weren't that articulate and great in the first place. Oh wait, that's Transformers as well. Damn.
And G.I. Joe.
See? Exactly.
Fortunately, Transformers got better in later incarnations. He-Man, not even the 2000 version could save that concept.
Neither could it G.I. Joe.
Oh, I know. How did they get such a cool concept like G.I. Joe and just fuck it up so bad?
Because violence?
Yeah, duh. This was during the big push during the 80s to not show blood on gore on kids' TV and how it's horrible and evil and wicked. So we ended up with flashing blue lasers and everybody being able to jump out of the plane in time.
And they still got away with so many things. I mean, if you consider everything, you remember that there's well, I don't know if we can go on the tangent for a second, but there's actually an episode of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when someone gets dismembered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So they could get away with so many things.
But it was the first push for that. That's why G.I. Joe and those ilk all had the flashing lasers and the no one dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, to bring this all first full circle and me answering the original question, Batman the Animated Series.
The true beat 'em up, throw them through a window, but they're not dead. They wish they were cartoons.
Sometimes you wonder. I'm fairly certain the episode that I always know his name until I need to know it. the Gray Ghost episode.
Oh, that's awesome. That episode.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I'm fairly certain he killed some people as the Gray Ghost.
Of that one, I have no doubt.
Probably. I mean, I'm telling you, they got away with so many things back then. Even adult themes sometimes. I cannot remember something specifically, but I'm pretty sure they said something or innuendos or something. I mean,
okay, so since we're talking 80s cartoon, I know you've seen most of them. Which one was better, Voltron or Robotech?
Well, for starters, I have there's a interesting tidbit of information there. We in Mexico got Voltron vehicles. It became bigger over here than Lions.
The story behind that is Voltron. We were supposed to get the vehicles first, and then the Lions. Go Lion.
Mm-hmm.
Someone screwed up the tape release, and they showed the Go Lions ones first, and then showed the Voyager series, which you guys call the vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
And that just, because of a simple flip-up, you guys got it according to the schedule it was supposed to be. We got it ass backwards.
And the worst part is that I don't remember if we ever got the Lions, Voltron Lions, but we got the toys. So you got to the store, you watch Voltron vehicles, you go to the store, to the toy store, all excited, wanting to buy Voltron toys, and then all you see is this Voltron Lion thing and no vehicles to go with that, and it's like, what is this? It says Voltron, but it doesn't have anything to do with Voltron.
We had the opposite problem. We had the Voltron vehicle Voyager sets in the toy stores, but no cartoon.
I so envy you.
Oh, you would until the late 90s when we got the updated Voltron.
Which was
with
not
the CG lions.
Oh, which was not a bad storyline, but the CG was rough even for the time.
Yeah, it did not beat Beast Wars when it came to the CG. Beast Wars was better, and Beast Machines.
Yeah.
Beast Wars. Sorry, it hasn't aged well. I saw it again like a month ago, and it's horrible, man.
Oh,
it's really horrible.
The CG is not good now, but back then, I mean...
It worked for the storyline, especially the CG of the time, because they were so different than the original 80s Transformers. And that's another show that we're going to get into. That's next week's show.
Okay.
The whole Transformers, generations, and whatnot. Robotech...
Okay, let's go. Oh, okay. Sorry, sir.
Go ahead.
No. I mean, go ahead with Robotech. I was going to go there anyway.
Robotech. Talk about not aging well. Okay, here in the States, we got the Harmony Gold version, which means we got the voice acting that was just below subpar. It was acceptable, but it was a lot of... you could tell the voice actors just really didn't give a shit.
To put it into terms that the kids might understand, this was pre-ADV ADV.
Oh. And then, to make matters worse, not only did we have the stock footage that all 80s animation had, and the reused footage, we had Min-May, that fucking cow. And then we had Min-May sing, quote unquote. Now, Macross series, which was this, Harmony Gold basically took two different Macross series and stitched them together for this. That's another gripe, another time for anime versus American. The Macross series always needs the music. It is a huge part of the entire series.
Totally agree.
The Robotech series gave us Min-May, who could sing like a cat in a blender.
To be in love.
Oh, God. You do better on that promo than she did on the entire...
She has a great... I mean, I love the soundtrack, even if it's not the original one. I've heard both versions, the 10th anniversary version of 15, and the 20th anniversary version is basically the same, just a couple songs more, and the score is not bad at all. I mean,
the score is not bad. It's her singing.
But yeah, when you get to the part when she sings, I think it's Reba West, the voice singer.
She was the voice actor that attempted to sing, and it was not good.
There's the highest notes on To Be in Love is like you could put your fingernails on the chalkboard and it would be a sweeter sound that those notes.
So I recently watched that. It has not aged well. No.
Well, it's 80s anime. I mean, very, very few 80s anime can withstand the test of time, to be honest. And I think Harmony Gold did a decent job to joining 3 different series into one epic tale. I mean, decent, not perfect, but obviously the original is better. And
then they bent over the fandom after they got to a certain age and said, "Fuck you very much." But that's a gripe from
another story.
That's Harmony Gold. Harmony Gold could take a point of hell by itself. So we had those. I'm sure Jay sees these old cartoons that Antonio and I are talking about and just points and laugh.
Dude, I remember waking up on Sunday mornings, and I had reruns of G.I. Joe, He-Man, Thundercats.
Oh, God, I hated that show.
You hated Thundercats?
I still love Thundercats. Thundercats is great.
I was more of a Silverhawks fan.
Silverhawks is... I think in some instances, Silverhawks was superior. Definitely.
Better animation, better voice acting, better storytelling.
Continue.
I would agree. It's one of those, I saw Thundercats first.
But Thundercats had the support of my generation, and I don't know why. I was always literally beat the hell out of at school because I just said Thundercats sucked.
I think they have like 2 reasons for that. The first reason is that once you got past the Lionel becoming the real leader of the group and growing up to match his physical, I mean that for starters is like the biggest trauma ever. I mean, you go to sleep as a 15-year-old and wake up as a 20-year-old, and it's glows over like nothing. It's like you got older quick.
Yeah, that was some of the plot problems they had with it. But they did fix that in the second one, in the 2001. I will give the 2000s Thundercats this: better animation, better storytelling, better voice acting, and it was a more compelling story, which is why it got canceled.
Exactly.
Well, it was missing out on one thing.
Thunder! Fuck
no.
you! Shut up!
They had that, but they missed the other thing that gets in everyone's head.
Chitara.
Snarf, 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 snarf. Snarf! Yeah! Yeah!
They on the original series, they made it worse. I mean, Snarfer?
That's what he's talking about.
They got a more grading version of Snarf. It's like, oh god. And they also sold toys like the other, like every cartoon on the 80s. I mean, every cartoon on the 80s.
I was able to get the price for the price of one Thundercat toy. I could get a double pack or a triple pack of G.I. Joe toys. Which one wins?
Yeah. And they have what's it, Willie Kid and Willie Cat as
Wiley,
stiff figures. I never liked that.
They were stupid. Those were the most annoying characters of a character-filled Wiley Cat and Willie Cat.
Well, you got so many characters there to mock. I mean, in Thundercats, there was Mumbra's pet. I don't even remember the name. The dog. It
Mumbra's
was like a mommy dog. Like what? Really?
Yeah.
Anthro. He's black.
Yeah, when your Baroness of G.I. Joe is a more realistic portrayal of a ethnic culture, you're doing something wrong. Now you gotta admit, Baroness was hot.
Oh, yes.
On the other hand, and then you got Silverhawks, and they were more
Story driven.
Yeah, they had better arcs. They were constant on the topics, on the theme, on everything. I mean, even
well, that and their kick-ass intro. I really wish Jay had that up and going, because I would love to hear that intro. That Silverhawks, you know.
I mean, I can.
That was what hook. That was the main hook for that show. It got you into the story. That whole opening intro song, you know.
Now I have this problem because I remember the name of the main villain in Spanish, but I don't remember it in English.
I don't either. Don't feel bad. And I speak English, supposedly.
The guy that transformed into with the Limbo's Moonstar. It was like Moonstar, something like that. But that was it was badass. It was 10 times better than Mumbra.
And
at
yet,
least.
So we had the commercials that when we went from Tom and Jerry and Warner Brothers to being too violent to half-hour commercials for toys. Welcome to the 80s. The 80s were a strange time to grow up. You know?
And we're not even getting into the let's update those old cartoons for today, like Flintstone Kids, or what was you get
Muppet Babies.
Muppet Babies was bearable.
Muppet Babies was great in a lot of ways, except for the need to have babies of the Muppets that just. The Muppets already filled that demographic. It was just saturating it, you know?
Yeah. And let's not talk about Care Bears or My Little Pony. Not the good one.
I will admit, I used to watch the original My Little Pony, mostly because I was stuck at the babysitters and the girls had control of the TV at the time.
Oh, we have a pup named Scooby-Doo too. But in the let's have babies of the popular cartoons.
Yeah, that was 2000s, wasn't it?
Oh, really? I think it's 90s.
Late 90s. We haven't even got to the 90s yet. We're still in the 80s because we had Rainbow Bright. Who the fuck thought that was a good idea? Really?
I love Gem and the Holograms.
That was a kick-ass show. Until you realized her boyfriend was so stupid he couldn't see her under just that little bit of makeup.
Oh, well, like Superman and Clark Kent
it's
is
like,
so
are
complicated.
You dumb?
Well, at least she had the whole hologram turn her into something else. I mean, that's more plausible that a couple of glasses doing the work.
Yeah, I did. Then, of course, there's the Justice League from that era.
They had kick-ass music.
They had kick-ass music on Jem and the Holograms. Justice League, oh, that was rough.
Super Friends, you mean?
Yes.
No, well, because Justice League is later on. I mean, like...
The Justice League was technically... It was called the Super Friends, but it was actually the Justice League. Because they had Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman...
I'm confused. You're talking about the old Super Friends.
Yeah, and it was the Justice League.
That's Super Friends to me, but well, whatever.
They called it Super Friends, but everybody knew it was the Justice League.
Okay.
And that was honestly the last time we had a decent portrayal of Wonder Woman on the air.
Yeah. Also, we had diversity in... with racial stereotypes. That was so great.
Oh, that I wasn't going to touch that, but yeah, there was that. That was a joke.
That was really something.
Which we got out of in the 90s, mostly.
But, on the other side, Aquaman was kind of cool in this one. So, yeah.
Aquaman actually had a purpose. Unlike the DC Comics. Shots fired!
Point taken. Okay.
So we gotta wait while we're waiting for him to get back. Oh God, I am so
okay. Let's go. Let's go. 80s. Mask
had a good premise. Was just crap writing. It was nothing more than a toy commercial.
And actually, I mean, have you seen the clip from I just forgot the show. Well, you know that parody they make about Mask, and they got a big point. Vehicles then transform into not so other cool vehicles. I mean,
yeah,
really, you got a car, it opens doors, and it's a plane now. It's like, yeah.
I had some of the toys. They were cool. They were quite cool. Some of the toys were quite cool, and some of the transformations were like, this is just stupid.
I had the trailer, and it was like, yeah, okay, I can transform a moving trailer into a stationary trailer. Right. Yay. And I always wanted the other Matt Tracker instead of the one that comes with the trailer. Because for some reason he had to be in two vehicles. But yeah, it was another series. The opening music was really cool.
The music was cool, but it was a failed. It was a failed toy commercial. Yeah. Then we had Transformers, which, as I said, will get its own show because it has changed so much over the ages. Yes, it was a toy commercial. And yes, G1 could be stupid, and was stupid a lot of times. You back, Jay?
I still remember the time a Transformer became a mermaid, and then back to a Transformer.
Yeah, that was... I said it, but it was entertaining at least.
Yeah, it was. And they had a crossover with Robotech. No, they didn't.
That didn't happen over here.
No. Well, it's Jetfire. The whole
they called it
thing.
Jetfire. They used for the toy itself. They used the same mold from Bandai.
I think.
Bandai. Thank you. But for the animation, they went with a total different look just for...
to avoid legal problems with that, yeah. But it's interesting that at some point in history, Transformers and Robotech kind of crossover. And do you remember, any of you remember, there was Ghostbusters?
Which one? Mm-hmm. There was the real Ghostbusters and the Filmation Ghostbusters.
Which wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad. But when you have Stay Puft Marshmallow Man walking on the big screen, and you go to watch the cartoon, and you get, this isn't the Ghostbusters.
Yeah. But strangely enough, I think they really, it's a pretty obscure reference where they took the Ghostbuster thing to create their own show. Filmation, exactly. They really had to reach really back to get into the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, and they won the right to do that, even though the film, they won all the rights to the terms Ghostbusters, so that's why there was the real Ghostbusters. Because it was a legal snafu back then. And
they had to make something out of it, apparently, to make money.
Yeah.
There's kind of a joke there. I'm pretty sure it didn't happen in the original version, but over here in Mexico, we got everything dubbed, obviously. And I distinctly remember an episode. Do you remember an episode of Real Ghostbusters where they go to a wicked house and Ray got his hair white for some reason while they're working on there, and at the end they pretty much blow up the house and go away?
I was 8 when that came out, so no, because we didn't have cable, and Air Antenna was not great reception in San Jose at the time.
Okay, well, there's that episode. At the end of that episode, in the Mexican version, in our Mexican dub, they distinctly say, "I told you we should have called the guys with the ape." I'm pretty sure they didn't have that in the original version, but it really cracked me up every time I hear that on this version.
It was probably a set jokes put into the dub, because I don't remember anything like that. It's probably there. I'm probably just dumb. So we've gone from tie-ins and commercials to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I'm going to use as a bridge from 80s to 90s, because it started in late 80s and finished in the 90s. You guys allow that?
Oh, definitely.
Now, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, as we all know, started out as a comic.
A very, very dark satire piece.
Yes. Now, the cartoons came out because they wanted to push their comic. Frankman and
Eastman and Laird.
Thank you, Eastman and Laird. I can never remember their fucking names. I can remember their creations. I can never remember theirs. Eastman and Laird went to the toy studios to make these toys for the comic. Playmate saw the toys, said, "Let's make a cartoon off the toys." Okay. And we ended up with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Heroes in a Half Shell, Turtle Power.
Yeah, that one.
But I always wondered why the cartoon. We didn't get the comic until we had the internet to look for the original source of the cartoon. But when you think about it, I never understood why the cartoon was so bright and colorful and cheerful, and the toys were nothing like that. I mean, the Shredder, for example, was totally different from the animated Shredder, from the cartoon Shredder. I mean,
because someone in marketing got involved.
Yeah, probably. I mean, and they were so different. I mean, if you looked at the turtles, at each turtle on the toys, they were like frowning and all greedy and everything. And then you go to the cartoon and it's all happiness, and it's like, what the hell?
Oh, and they all wear different colored bands for some reason.
And I was, again, marketing for the cartoon because they wanted to be able to differentiate the turtles.
Yeah, the comic, they originally, even though it's black and white, they tell you they all wear red.
Yeah. And I'm going to be I'm going to be in that camp that I think that as much as I love the original cartoon Turtles, I think they were better than their original comic, and I think the Dark Horse, not Dark Horse,
IDW.
Thank you. Oh, my brain is fried today, ladies and gents. The IDW comic is much better than the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also think the 2000 series of Turtles was better written, better produced, better acted, better story arcs. IDW, yeah. All right.
I think that's them. It's hard to remember who makes what comics sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, okay, IDW does My Little Pony, Transformers. Yeah, they do Ninja Turtles.
Yep. And they did a better one than Eastman and then I thought the cartoon from the 2000 was better.
Oh, yeah, I mean, the original comic, as much as I like it, it was a satire piece.
Yeah, it wasn't a satire piece as much as it was a fuck you.
Yeah, but they did try to cover it under satire.
Yeah.
And then ended up becoming what it hated.
Yeah.
The original cartoon, I mean, that was an attempt to sell toys again. The 2001 was an attempt to tell a story.
Which was a nice change in the cartoon format, because I think that's what I really liked about the 90s and beyond, is we went from trying to sell toys. It's still part there.
Oh, yeah.
The My Little Pony is a good case of that. You know, we'll
Transformers.
It's still there, but there is a better attempt at telling this story. There's actually trying to push... But it is a better attempt to tell a story.
Yeah, I mean, it's become more than just buy our product.
Yeah. Oh, you...
Yeah, I think that's one thing. You know, I'm going to get this on this one, or actually, not going to be editing out this recording. Yeah. But that's one thing, like Batman, the animated series. That's one thing I love about it is, yes, it's a cartoon for a comic. It's selling things anyway, but it did tell really good, really strong stories.
Which is why it was such a good series.
Yeah, and it still stands today. I mean...
Not to mention that the voice acting and the animation is just spectacular.
It's beautiful, especially like with the second season.
Oh, yeah.
When they get into like more blues style for that first couple episodes.
Yeah.
And it has that art style. And when Adam West was on as the Silver Ghost, the Gray Ghost, it has that style. It was so good. And that carried to Batman Beyond.
Which was awesome. And it just... I love Batman Beyond. I honestly love Batman Beyond more than I enjoy the animated series. And I'm going to hell for that, I know.
To me, they're both equal, mainly because I grew up with both of them at the same time. I was still growing. But I think that Beyond did some things a lot better. I think it told a better, more mature story.
Because I like the fact that it passed it on, but you really saw how much Bruce had to let go of it, and how much he didn't want to.
Yeah, it was a good story for both characters, and it did good things. Like, they had the movie that with the Return of the Joker. Mm-hmm. And you saw how this new Batman had to get and think like Bruce did.
Yeah.
And you saw how much Terry just couldn't do it. Terry could not feel where Bruce was coming from.
And he had to be his own man.
Yeah, he's not Bruce. He can't fight Joker like Bruce did.
Yep.
And that was amazing. It's like Superman, the animated series. No one talks about it anymore, even though it's the same team.
That's because it's the Boy Scout.
They couldn't do as much.
Superman cartoons had the same things, that had the same problems that the movies have. Superman is encapsulated in this idea, and you just can't move it forward in any other direction except in a story you've told 12,000 times before.
Yeah, and when you try, it fails because the fans hate it.
Yeah.
While Batman created the Elseworld series. Yeah, with, Gotham by Gaslight.
Which was awesome.
It is. It's one of my favorite Elseworlds because we see Batman in a Victorian era. And he's Batman, but he's different.
Yeah.
Skype is confused. Skype is always confused.
So we had that. Then we had to go back to the original story types of, like, the Warner Brothers with Animaniacs and Tiny Toons.
Yes. Which Tiny Toons got dark a couple times.
Oh, dear Lord. But you want to go dark or pushing the censors, you go Animaniacs.
Oh, Animaniacs covered some dark things like fingerprints, but Tiny Toons had the band episode.
Yeah.
Where they got
Smoking.
drunk and died.
Oh, yeah.
From driving off a cliff. What Animaniacs inspired? Rocko's Modern Life with the 1 Hour Motel.
You do realize Rocco was a sex worker for a bit, yeah?
Oh, yeah. And I love Rocco's. Angry Beavers crossed a lot of lines.
Which they were more free to do because the Cartoon Networks were not so motivated by pushing toys.
No, like Nickelodeon with Angry Beavers, they got away with so much. We wouldn't have that without Animaniacs. Animaniacs started pushing those lines, and part of it was it's Spielberg. We can't say no to him.
Yeah, especially at that height of his power.
Oh yeah, at that time he owned Fox pretty much.
Fox was his bitch,
and it worked out for the best because Animaniacs was intelligent, goofy. It knew how to hit all audiences.
Mm-hmm.
In Tiny Toons, they attempted to recapture that. They did well enough on their own.
I thought Tiny Toons came out first.
I think it did, but it wasn't as big until Animaniacs really hit.
Yeah. Tiny Toons was more of a, let's go back to the old style of 5-10 minute cartoons.
Yeah, and with, it's hit on the classic Looney Tunes.
Right.
But as kids. Which make it their kids.
Which led to creepy positions between Babs and Bugs, but...
Yeah. That was kind of pre-Lola Bunny.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was... But yeah, that was what we were talking about. It goes back to that being able to tell a story. Not have to push the merchandise. Not have to...
I mean, hell, that was all of Freakazoid. For as much as it is random humor, it's telling the story of Freakazoid.
In a classic Carol Burnett-style comedy show.
Yes, and I mean, we wouldn't have that without Animaniacs.
Yep.
That's where he started, Pinky and the Brain. Animaniacs gave us them, but when they went off onto their own show, it was great.
But it was just awesome. So we had those, and that released a lot. Then we had Animaniacs, Tiny Toons. Oh, fuck you, Skype. And yes, I'm leaving that in. Fuck you, Skype.
Skype sucks balls.
So we had all those. What other ones did we have during that time? Because there was a lot. It was basically the second Renaissance.
Well, we did have the second big push of anime happening then on WB.
Yeah.
Pokemon.
And I'm going to admit I enjoyed Pokemon for what it was.
But it was not a good show.
No. It was a nice attempt to bring a different culture in, and it was a good tie-in to the games.
Well, that's about it.
But the voiceover acting was...
subpar.
Beyond subpar. It was... It was the Funhouse, not Funhouse, 4Kids era. And we know how well that went.
Yeah. Animals fighting animals for human pleasure. 4Kids.
Yeah.
I say it as someone who still loves Pokemon.
Hey, I'm still fighting through Firebed, thank you very much.
I just have to make fun of the concept on occasion.
Yeah, okay, you can take your PETA-loving ash and shuffle off, thank you.
Hey, I still love it. I just always love making fun of what it really is sometimes. Because there is this big lore. We'll have to do a Pokemon episode one day. Just so we can handle all that. Yeah, and that was the time that Pokemon came over and kids were getting all into that and the cards and the game and the comics, which were freaking dark.
Which, yeah, the mangas were not nice. They were a little more honest about the fighting. Yeah,
including an Arbok getting cut in half.
Yeah. We had Pirates, not Pirate, One Piece.
Yes.
Oh dear God, what the fuck was that shit?
Then we had Shonen Jump come out, and One Piece became a real thing for us.
Oh.
That's a 4Kids work. And they actually did kind of well with the more recent attempt.
Yeah, but 4Kids is a curse word for a reason.
It is, I agree.
I mean, we had such great shows like Batman the Animated Series at the time. And then we had Pokemon, 4Kids TV.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you justify having that bad of not the animation?
The animation was actually fairly good for the time. It was impressive.
That slipshod of voice acting and script translation at that time in the history. You know what I mean?
Because it's for kids.
Yeah.
Well, Invader Zim started up shortly after when WB Kids died.
Invader Zim was ahead of its time, and that's why it didn't last as long as it did.
And it deserved more.
Oh, it did. It was, but we're also talking about the writer of Knee, so...
Yeah.
Knee the Homicidal Maniac, and god damn, I love that comic.
Oh, so do I. It is fucked up in all the best ways.
So when you hear Knee the Homicidal Maniac is making a cartoon, the adults are going, I'm fucking in, and the adults that have read the comics so kids are going, are you fucking nuts?
At that time, Invader Zim was my introduction to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually kind of love it that way because I don't think that kid me could have wrapped his head around the change that just happened. But I love Zim. I am one of those people that I have never actually bought anything for myself from Hot Topic.
Uh-huh.
But only because all their Invader Zim stuff was so overpriced.
Oh, I hate Hot Topic. That's... talk about taking your childhood memories and fucking them up.
And we brought up Justice League. I mean, the late 90s, early 2000s, we had Justice League and then Unlimited. Two amazing shows.
Yeah. Which, again, we're ahead of the time. They were just... it just gets to the point... Why are you even attempting to make this if you're just going to fucking cancel it? Fox!
Yeah. But Unlimited got a very good run on Cartoon Network.
That it did.
And it was a hell of a show. It had complex storylines. Even then, at that time, we got to see lesser heroes because like Static Shock got his own show.
That was a fucking awesome show. That was the one that actually got me almost interested in the WB shows again.
Yeah, and I mean, it thrived on Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network gave it more seasons, and Virgil as a character matured.
Yeah, and when The crossover between him and TSA Batman.
And his crossover with the Green Lantern.
Oh, yeah. Those were just phenomenal. But it ran into the same problem that all the good shows have. A victim of its own success.
Yeah.
You know, it just... A good example. Animaniacs, the last half season.
Yeah. They were at the point of what line can we push now, and...
It just... I love this show. It held up. But you knew it was time. Because it was so successful.
Yeah, you know, we've had a few cases of that. Dexter's Lab knew when it reached its peak, and it faded away after that. They did a couple movies, and that was that.
Dexter's Lab was one of those that was really great, really pushed the boundaries, and made you think while laughing.
Yeah, and it was great for that. But once they realized, okay, we've gone as far as we can go, they threw out 2 movies and left.
Yeah. Unlike certain other cartoons we know, fucking Test. Fuck you, Test. Ugh!
SpongeBob.
4 movies, 20 years, and dear God, will you shut the fuck up later?
Yeah. But then we also have the sad parts. Samurai Jack, that didn't get its full run.
Samurai Jack got hosed.
It did, and it was
I'm going to put it in terms that every sci-fi can understand. It got fireflied. It got foxed.
Yeah, hardcore. I mean, they're making a comic now, and the comic's good. But it's not the same as watching Jack silently walk through a massive cyber city.
Yeah.
And just know that he is suffering culture shock, but has one goal.
I'm going to get home and not let this shit happen.
He is the samurai.
Yeah.
Powerpuff Girls, I mean...
I hated it when it first came out mostly because, full disclosure, when something gets that popular, my immediate reaction is, fuck you, no. I don't know why it is that. Case in point, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I had to wait until the first season was on Netflix before I actually sat down and watched it because there was just this build-up around it. Same thing happened with Powerpuff Girls. Yes, the story was good, the writing was good. I think it was the animation for me that first threw me off, and then it's just this mass popularity.
You know, I could see how the animation would throw somebody off, especially in that time when we didn't have animation like that very often.
I was spoiled by things like Batman the Animated Series, the Superman. Animation-wise, Superman was fucking gorgeous.
It was, and I could see where, like, you know, with me and Powerpuff Girls, I didn't like it at first because I was a young boy and it was a girls' show.
Yeah.
But it grew on me, and looking back on it, I really do love that animation style because it really contrasted on how fucked up that show could be.
Oh, him and... yeah.
Yeah. The things reaching as disturbing as the red guy on Cow and Chicken.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that show could go terrifying places. And it was well written for the animation style for what it was well done. It was simplistic and cutesy, but it could be detailed.
And could be
the fights
dark.
were amazing.
And it could be fucking dark.
Yeah.
I plopped my kid down in front of that once and let him watch it. It was the episode where they went forward in time.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. That is not a good choice for a small child.
At that point, I realized just how horrible of a father I really was. Oh, Christ.
Oh, hell, they did a musical episode, and I'll admit I like musicals. But that episode, hand down, best musical I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Because they knew how to get it perfect.
Oh, yeah.
And they also made fun of themselves. I mean, the creation of the rowdy rough boys being the antithesis of everything the Powerpuff Girls are was such a perfect taking the piss out.
Which is what H. Miller tried to do with the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
And it did not do anywhere near as well as Powerpuff Girls did.
No, it didn't. So that leads us to... those are the high points of the 90s. Then that leads us to the 2000s. And CG was king.
Oh, God, yes.
It's becoming harder and harder to find actual hand-drawn cartoons anymore.
It is, and in some ways that bothers me, but in others, like I see, like Miyazaki used CG very well as a touch-up in places. Yeah. And it's not like, Voltron, like you mentioned earlier, Voltron 2, where the lions were CG.
That was such a bad merge. And, it was just... But it was better storylines than the original Voltron, as I've said.
Yeah, better in some ways, worse in others.
Yeah.
And in the move to CG, we also have things like a reboot.
Which was really interesting. I can't call it good because there was just some glaring flaws.
Yeah, Reboot, I've actually recently rewatched Reboot, and while I can say for what it is, it aged well, it was... There are times...
Not even aging well. It did age well. I'm just saying, story-wise and voice acting-wise, it had some major flaws.
It did, and, that's part of the aging process to me, because back then, what they were doing already was pretty stunning, so we looked over that.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I think another part was, not only had we never seen anything drawn like Reboot was, we'd never seen a show like Reboot.
Except those of us that watched Tron growing up.
Oh yeah, but we didn't really have, we had Tron, but Reboot stands out in its own way, and I guess the way to put it to kids today, Reboot was our Sword Art Online. I hate that comparison because I
fucking hate that show.
So do I. I do not like SAO. Fuck that. I like Dot Hack more, but Dot Hack isn't as well remembered.
Oh, I hate that goddamn show.
That was Reboot for us because it was all about the games.
Yeah.
That was the best bit when a user started a game.
Mm-hmm.
And how they were tied into, the entire world is a threat of a virus. In the 90s, how many of us understood computers that well?
Most of my generation did because we were the first generations to have the big, monstrous, clanking, cabinet-sized 4 meg computers that you had to program 16 hours just to get a 10-minute program into.
Yeah, but it was more like the internet age is what it was linked to more, yeah. I think. And that's why I'm coming from, it's the internet, really. That is that show. It's the internet, and it's a computer under threat of a virus, and it's more than just the programs. It's everything.
Right.
And there's this massive scale and this brand new art style that, while it was shiny as fuck, everybody was there and walking sunlight.
Uh-huh. That was... Lens flare, it reminds me of a J.J. Abrams flick.
Yeah.
Lens flare everywhere.
And when you look back, that's pretty much all of that old-time CG. I just kind of wonder if they didn't understand how to make lighting work.
Yeah. It's just like...
Reboot broke through a lot of barriers. I think it did it well. I mean, going back and watching it, I still laugh at it.
Mm-hmm.
The jokes are corny, as they should be for what that show is.
Right.
The understanding of technology is crap. But again, given the time...
Yeah, CSI Cyber doesn't have that excuse.
The CSI Cyber has no excuses. But, Reboot, we were just getting our actual small home computer towers that...
Yeah.
we were just getting real 3D games.
Yeah.
Not, like Duke Nukem where it's 2D layered.
Yeah.
I'm saying it was a big step forward with a lot of things that went right for it. And it's another show where it hit its peak and it kind of disappeared. And I can only say, for the best.
Yeah, its timing's everything. I mean, look at how poorly things like the original... No, Transformers has many iterations. That's a good one. GoBots, good example.
Yes, GoBots.
It just... it never hit its stride right, and then it just died.
Yeah, GoBots really... part of me thinks that GoBots really never had a chance in America.
No.
Because, a lot of Americans still see GoBots as that Transformers knockoff. But you know anything about GoBots, it's not actually a damn Transformers knockoff. It is kind of its own thing.
It is, but it's still... I can sum up everything wrong with GoBots with one name.
Scooter?
Scooter.
Goddamn Scooter.
And other shows have fallen into that trap. 90s. What was the one that everybody... Very popular. Everybody hated it because there was that one damn annoying character. Not Pikachu.
How to say, I can think Pokemon for that one.
I want to say Digimon.
Oh, God.
Which had some good arcs, and I don't know why it just...
Hat? Is it... Was that the annoying kid with that dressed in all green?
Yeah.
And had the little winged pig.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of Digimon. Don't get me wrong. I still like Digimon. Tamers is like the best fucking thing ever to me. But yeah, Digimon had its problems. And that's another one that I think it came to us at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Because we had those little battle pets that were pretty much the original Digimon. They really were.
Yeah.
We got Tamagotchi.
And then we had
got
Pokemon.
Then we had actual Digimon.
Yeah.
And I remember schoolyard fights on if Digimon was a Pokemon ripoff. And I'm like, no, it's different shows. No, it's a Pokemon ripoff. No, it's really not.
Yeah.
And Digimon went to some dark places.
Oh, yeah.
The entirety of War Greymon is proof of that. It also got short-shafted with its movie.
You mean the 3 movies they pieced together?
Yeah, the one that introduced us to Tamers, like years before Tamers would come out.
Yeah.
Because we have, like, the original kids have grown up. Then we have the second series where it follows Kyrie, who I still like as a character. She was very well written in all of her ages.
Yeah.
And then we get a flash of the D-Reaper and the Tamers. It's like, who are these guys?
Yeah, it just...
What's that fox? Then years later, that would be the furry movement. Again, love Tamers. Renamon is actually one of my favorite Digimon because she felt like the most like a digital monster.
Yeah.
At first, and she grew. I love her character arc because she goes from a beast to this motherly guiding figure and works as a character. But when I first saw that at the end of the fucking train wreck Stitch work, I was confused as shit.
You just basically have to throw the movie out.
Yeah, go watch Summer Wars. It's a better way of doing it.
Oh, I love Summer Wars.
So do I.
But that's anime. We're not in anime today. We're doing cartoons.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking 90s cartoons, you got to touch on the original Digimon, which...
Yeah.
Compelling storyline, a good art style, a unique art style. It had good use of early CG for the Ultimate Digivolutions.
Yeah.
But then it went into hand-drawn when they actually did fights. Each arc was a different story. The characters grew. We got, and they stayed together.
Yeah.
And even when we followed Kyrie and her crew, we still had Tai and Agumon appear.
Well, it was his little sister, and that's not going to fly, you know.
No, but, he even had the trope of the goggles.
Yeah.
And he gives up the goggles, and then when it comes time, fucker's got a backup pair. And he puts them on.
Yeah. Because, hey, it's goggles. You can't give those up.
Yeah. And that goes, because Digimon is still going today. Not so heavily in America. After Tamers, it kind of fell off a little bit. There's still episodes out there. They're just not well advertised anymore. I mean, it has stayed for a long time, and it did start with the 90s.
Yeah. And then we had the early 2000s. Now, I'm going to be honest. I disliked a lot of the cartoons on like CBS and ABC at that time, with the exception of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
There were a couple others I would watch.
I'm going to sound the weirdest person for saying this. The Sabrina cartoon wasn't terrible.
It wasn't bad. It was watchable.
Then again, I actually
but
kind of enjoyed...
you could start seeing the trend to start... Out of the 90s, I really got to give the 90s cartoons this. They were pushing for more... To say it... to push the boundaries of people turning us off quickly... Gender equality. They were pushing gender equality better than the 80s were.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then the 2000s, Sabrina is a lovely story, and it's a great written story. But it's starting to push back those gender roles.
It is. It very much was. And at times they did kind of play with that, like with the concept of Salem.
Yeah.
They did play with, having the good magic users be women.
Yeah.
But at the same time, even the live show did this. Focused so much on the boy.
Yeah, it just...
They knew how to take steps forward, but they kept on taking that exact same step back.
For every minor step forward, they would take 3 major steps back. She was a strong, independent woman until she needed her boyfriend.
Yeah.
God damn it! She was able to make up her own mind, except when it comes down to what she wants to wear for the dress. Motherfucker!
Yeah.
This is not what I want to teach my kids.
And of course, early 2000s, we need to speak of the bane of Canada.
Fucking Test.
And Code Lyoko.
There is no Code Lyoko. Fuck you.
Okay, I want to say this now. One, Code Lyoko is not fucking anime. Fuck you, people.
It's a French cartoon from Canada.
Yes, but I will admit I kind of like Code Lyoko, and the reason being is something you did just bring up.
The gender.
It did gender equality very well.
They treated characters like people instead of parts.
Yeah, and I mean, Code Lyoko has its flaws. Every episode being pretty much the same, being one of them. But it was a kids show at the time. I really don't expect more out of that.
Yeah, well, except you should. You
should expect more. But at the same time,
a good point. We just said it. Batman the Animated Series, never the same show over and over.
No, but Batman this year also had a better fucking budget. Because, God, Code Lyoko had, shitty writing budgets to make for those CG fight scenes.
Yeah.
But for what it was, looking at it now, I see why, the writing faltered. They didn't have a good writing team. They didn't have a great budget. It was...
But that's striking at the core of any show. If you don't have a good writing system, I don't give a fuck how good your CG is.
Yeah,
if you can't tell a good story, all the pretty little side effects aren't going to do shit for me.
Later on, the show got better. It really did branch out more. The threats got more believable.
And by then, what little characters they had made the rest of us just go, fuck you, I don't care.
The cast, the last season that we got that wasn't live action, fuck that thing. In my opinion, the cast got stronger because they grew up.
Yeah.
But they also brought Alira into the real world, and that was just weird.
That was because it's cheaper to run a live-action film than it is a animated film.
Well, no, I mean, the animated version, they made Alira a real person. The Code Girl comes out of the transporter as a real girl.
Yeah, I remember that. That's the only three episodes I watched. I was like, this is fucking stupid.
It was weird. It was very weird.
It wasn't following the rules of its own world.
Well, that was actually kind of a showing that the rules had changed because the world itself had evolved.
Okay, I'll grant it that.
I'm going to break down Kyoka here to actually say why I loved this show when I was younger so much, and I still do kind of like it today, even with its flaws. They defeated Xanax or whatever.
Uh-huh.
He was gone. But what they thought they did was delete him. But it's like putting something in your recycle bin. It's not gone forever until you press that big button.
And even then you have to usually format the hard drive to get rid of everything.
Yeah, they didn't do that because by removing him completely, they would destroy what else he controlled that helped the world. It was this, we cannot kill the evil because it will kill us. But by doing that, he grew, and the game itself changed. So now he had more influence in the real world because he saw what he could do. And I like that, and the fact that the main female character was the leader.
Yeah.
And a lot of her character, for the time, was very impressive because, you know, even with 90s cartoons, while we pushed more equality and we took those steps back with 2000s, we were now coming back to that with the goth chick who leads the team, kicks ass, and deals with the fact that she has a broken home. She does break down and has those emotional moments. That's better than most TV today.
Yeah. I'll grant that. The writing improved, I'll grant that. But it was too little too late.
It was. It could have. They should have done more when they had time.
Then we had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. 6 seasons are good, and then back to the sewers, and what the fuck was that? Talk about overstaying your welcome, you know?
Yeah.
That was when it moved to WB.
It declined
quickly, and that's sad. That April O'Neil was better written and better. No, I can't say better drawn because that jumpsuit. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that goes to the point we were making about moving forward. She was able to defend herself. She was able to talk to people. She was able to function without the constant need of the turtles.
Yes.
Unlike the original 80s cartoon.
Which is kind of funny because, you know, in the 80s cartoon, Grandma was packing an AK in her shopping cart.
Yeah.
April O'Neil could hide a damn bazooka in that jumpsuit.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we went back to the sewers, and all the growth that we had over those seasons, gone.
And then we went and fought dinosaurs.
Which made more sense than half the other stuff.
Yeah, but Turtles in Time was not their strongest showing at all.
It wasn't their strongest showing, but it was still better than Back to the Sewers.
Yeah. I also might be against Turtles in Time because it makes me think of the time travel movie, and that makes my brain hurt.
I liked 3. Shut up.
3 wasn't bad, but some parts of it make my brain hurt. Like,
go ninja, go. That's all I have to say for anybody's brain to hurt.
That makes my heart hurt more than my brain. Yeah. But, like, you know, Splinter being that rat in the cage in Japan.
Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage.
Why was he in a cage, in a jail cell? And that's just causality fucking up.
But
you know,
by this time, most of the cartoons had been switching from CBS, NBC, Fox to Cartoon Network.
Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon.
Yep. Which was great for quite a long time. Kids Next Door, fantastically done. Still works great.
The Cartoon Fridays, where we got our first showing of Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah. It had its good and bad. I've never been a big anime fight fan. Yu Yu Hakusho is the exception. Naruto is go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I agree there. I was just pointing that out as, that the Cartoon Network did a lot of good in that time.
They had Kids Next Door. They had Johnny Test was the bad years. Bad years.
The unending bad years. They brought Shaolin Showdown. They handled some of that when Fox dropped it.
Which was so stupid on Fox's part.
It was, but, it actually kind of fit, because Shaolin Showdown was a stupid show in and of itself in the best way possible.
Yeah, it was great. It was fun.
Let's have our super monk beat the enemy by playing soccer.
Yeah.
It was a great show.
It made you just go, what the fuck? Okay, I see your point. But seriously, what the fuck?
Yeah. There were some weird things going on. And Nickelodeon started holding its own more and more with, Angry Beavers and Invader Zim are pushing the 2000 years.
Fairly Odd Parents, which, while it could be annoying at times, was still entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, while it has its flaws, it's not the greatest show, but it was creative with what it could do.
Yeah.
And it did have good times of watch what you wish for.
Because you just might get it.
Yeah, and that team went on to do Danny Phantom, which again, not the greatest show.
I love
it. Its flaws.
I love it.
Yeah, I greatly enjoy it. It has its flaws at times, though. Not the best in the world, but still, it was very enjoyable.
Then we had, on the opposite time, Ben 10. Now, this is where you and I disagree. You think the first season was the best.
No, I don't. I think the first season was the best, because that's Kid Ben.
Yeah.
To put me in Ben 10, I like the original Ben 10 as a concept. I like that they got that tone right. I even like Ben as a character, because you give a kid that kind of power,
he's going to fuck it up.
Yeah, and he's going to have fun, like figuring out, I can become this guy with 4 arms. I'm going to go bowling because I can blow up the bowling rink. That was cool. It had fun. It got more serious. I think, it was an Alien Force the first time as a teenager, I think.
Yeah, that was...
That to me was the best.
Well, I like Alien Force on.
I think that the first few seasons when he's a kid do have their merit, and they got better as they went on.
Pardon me.
It got a little less goofy. It got a little more serious. Ben learned. Gwen grew. You learned more about the plumbers.
It was a necessary plot point, and it was done well. It wasn't done perfectly, but it was done well.
Yeah, the original show did things well when it did things.
Right.
But I will admit, when he got older, it got better. Then it started going kind of downhill after a while.
I don't know. I thought that it did really well until they kept pushing the girlfriend.
That and the last couple of seasons I watched, Ben had gotten less of a dickhead.
Yeah.
Like, he starts as a dickhead teenager. Understandable. But then he grows again.
Yeah.
Then the season ends, we go to a new season, and he's back at square one. But now he doesn't have to put the watch back on. And it's like, really, you go through all this growth, you figure out all about your powers, they're growing more, you know more stuff, you're an adult now, you really have grown up, but then we reset it all. But we don't reset it all. We just reset you, really. But you still know things. But you're a dick.
I always put Ultimate Alien down to the only way I could stomach him being a dick again in Ultimate Alien was this has all just been dumped on him again. And this is the first time he's really understood as the beginning of an adult what this means.
Yeah, but I mean, he never changed throughout on. He just kind of stayed a dick.
Yeah, there was times I just wanted to smack him.
That's what gets me.
Usually when his quote-unquote girlfriend was around.
Yeah, even in the original show, as a kid, he grew up.
Yeah.
And, he also liked to bitch at Gwen, who could make the fucking pavement become a golem.
Yeah.
Chick was a freaking amazing magician. Don't piss her off, alien boy. She can fuck you up.
But it ran into the problem a lot of the Cartoon Network shows did back then, and still do. Push, push, push. Keep pushing this show. We need to make it. Oh, well, if the content's dead.
Yeah.
A prime example of that would be, oh, I hate that little fucker. You know who I'm talking about.
There's so many annoying little fuckers involved with Cartoon Network these days.
Blonde?
Oh, that fucker.
Yeah. Smart Sisters?
Yeah. Yeah, the one done in Flash.
Which can have its own good and bad.
My Little Pony, 2013, or whatever it came out. 2012, whenever then.
That one?
That was well done Flash.
I have my own issues with My Little Pony, but it's mostly with the fandom.
Yeah, I don't consider the show in any way bad. It's just not for me, but the fandom can be a bit
more than...
Okay, put it this way. There's the fans.
Yep.
There's the bronies.
Yep.
Then there's the fanboy bronies. Because I know bronies that are really into the show, but don't talk about it all the time and don't try to push it through. And I don't mind them. That's cool. They're fanboys. They're okay.
Yeah.
Then there's the fanboys.
Those are the ones you just throw out an airlock.
Yeah, those are the ones that make me have issues with My Little Pony. I do not like those people. I don't... Fuck them. Fuck that they want to push everything...
And then we get into My Little Pony where they turn into the high school girls. What the fuck? Okay.
I am so happy she stepped away from that show before that happened. Because the woman who made Foster's
awesome
cannot
show.
be attached to that.
Yeah.
Because Foster's was amazing.
And then we get back... the high school thing gets back to the whole 80s concept of cartoons are to push toys. And that was a huge thing because that whole show, not Friendship is Magic.
Equestria Girls,
came out because of Monster High, which was selling dolls. Guess what who owns My Little Pony?
Oh,
Mattel.
Yeah, Mattel.
Guess what Mattel makes?
Toys.
Guess what they saw happen when their competitor came out with a show?
Toys.
Yeah.
And so,
we've gone full circle from the 80s.
Yeah.
We have gone full from growth, storytelling, lessons. I mean, hell, look at some of the lessons you learned from Foster's. Look at some of the lessons you learned from Dexter's.
Avatar.
Fantastic show. I could fucking strangle Nickelodeon for what they did to Korra.
So could I. Because Korra was as fantastic, in my opinion.
If not more so.
It grew up with its audience.
Yep. But little boys don't... Oh, every time I hear that just makes me see red.
Korra is an amazing role model, male or female.
But little boys don't want to watch stuff with little girls in it, and we're trying to make money. You fucking retard.
Bullshit. Toph was one of the best characters in the original Avatar, and she's a little blind girl.
Yeah.
And Toph is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Hell, Katara is fucking great. They ripped that trope a new one with Katara.
Oh, yeah.
Because here is an emotional yet powerful female lead who doesn't have the other end of the stupid romance.
No.
I mean, she has someone she's into, but even then, the relationship is so balanced that when it happens, it's right.
It feels natural.
Yes.
Not forced romantic lead.
No. And it even deals with the unrequited love situation where Aang has a thing for her.
Which she eventually realizes is what she wants too.
Yeah, but she also had to go through, Zuko. Who, while an ass, was a good character.
He had so much growth. Not to mention Danny, the voice.
Yes.
Luffy. Oh my god, is that dangerous?
Yeah. But everything about Avatar was fucking amazing, and it taught you things. It had good morals, and it was a fun show, and it could balance out heavy emotional arcs with the lightweight pleasure.
And since we've gone back to the 80s, we have things like Voltron on Nickelodeon. Fuck, I hate that show. Have you seen it?
Thankfully, no.
Take all the bad animation tropes of the 70s and 80s, put them into a computer, slim it down, make it lean, make it bad CGI, and give voice acting cringeworthy, even for kids fun. For kids, voice acting actors are going, damn, that's bad.
Jesus. Again, the last time I watched Voltron was when Fox had it and did the CGI tigers that lived in pyramids on occasion.
Nickelodeon also has Speed Racer.
There are two ways that could go.
Imagine bad gaijin anime.
God damn it.
Drawn by a blind Chinese man. From descriptions from a Frenchman.
God damn it.
Yeah.
No go, Speed Racer, no go.
The Mark V, you fucker, that's not the Mark V. You know?
God damn, that's terrible.
Nickelodeon has gone
Speed
through
Racer. Speed Racer wasn't that great of a show originally.
Yeah.
It was fun, but it was not a good show.
They got rid of all the fun. Nickelodeon has been doing this cash... I don't know how else to put it, cash... They had great shows like Korra, like Aang, like Zim. And now they have these shows that you're just like... Can I have, you can't do that on television back, please?
Oh, God, I wish. Or Guts.
Yeah.
Double Dare. Which I know, two terrible reality shows, but they were good for the damn time.
Terrible nothing. They're great game shows that had kids doing stuff they're not allowed to do anymore.
Yeah, I mean, Guts, you had to get into the damn peanut butter and chocolate and find the flag.
Yeah. Double
That's
Dare.
Double Dare, not Guts. Guts was where you had to go through the Incan Temple.
Right. Double Dare was, we're going to shove you through a slide full of snot. Ha ha. A.K.A. oatmeal with green slime mess.
And driver OCD host insane.
Yeah. That was fun.
You can't sit on television. Our introduction to GAC.
Yep.
Yeah, there has been... It's like Cartoon Network is grabbing these YouTube shows.
Orange. I hate that goddamn show.
Annoying Orange. Isn't that regular show or whatever from there?
I don't know. I stopped watching Cartoon Network when they took their Adult Swim lineup and used it as a template for their kids shows.
Oh, God.
Adventure Time. I hear is a great show. From what I've seen, it's an awesome show.
I will give it that. I like Adventure Time.
But it's not really
something. Pound of pot.
Exactly. It's not really something I want my kids to watch.
No, I mean, it is very... it's a throwback to the 90s in some ways.
It's a throwback to the 70s.
In other ways, yes. But in some ways, it does have little winks to like the 90s style of things.
And I see that. I just...
props for animated lesbian couple.
Which is fine. I don't care about that for my kid. What I do care about is the overt drug references. Be it, but again, that's Adult Swim. That's not... You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get where you're coming from with that. Adventure Time is a very strange show to be on a kids' network. It has a lot of mature themes, a lot of mature things happen, and it's under the guise of this kids' show.
Which, when done right, can be fine.
Animaniacs.
Exactly. Chowder, another one that should have been on the adult lineup. Adult Swim.
Chowder makes me want to drink.
Chowder's an acid trip.
Yeah, it is.
And it was made for the kids, the college kids that are still getting stoned and staying at home and watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
For it to be put... Again, I've been there. I've done that.
Yeah.
I recognize what it's for.
Yeah.
Putting it in your kids' programming? No.
Yeah, I'd almost say that all of this has been inspired by one thing.
What?
Home movies.
Oh, I hate that goddamn show.
I still like home movies in that it was made at the right time. It is such a counterpoint to shows like Daria.
Yeah. But Daria was awesome.
It was. I like home movies because I guess it is the adult look back at being a kid, and he got it right. And then went on to make Metalocalypse, which is fucking amazing.
Oh, God, I was going to say, once he made Metalocalypse, that was it. I was in his camp forever because that show is... just the soundtrack alone.
Yeah, but what I'm saying with home movies is, like, if you watch a clip of home movies, there are times it looks and sounds like a kid's show.
Yeah.
But it's being done in a mature way. It's for adults to look back and someone
at Cartoon Network, some exec, misunderstood that point.
Completely.
And we went from Johnny Test. God, I hate that show. But at least
You're not the only one.
But at least it was a kid's show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was set up
show involved for kids that beat their heads with bricks and eat the lead candy from the walls.
Yeah. I didn't say it was a good kids show. I didn't say it was a smart kids show. It talked down to its audience, which is a kids show should never do. Cartoon Network has gone the opposite extreme. You don't need to talk down to your audience, but you still need to make content that they understand.
Yes.
And they haven't done that in a very long time.
Yeah, I gotta give that My Little Pony. Another thing it does right, it engages their audience in a way that they can understand without talking down to them.
Exactly.
I hate to say it, but the Nicktoons shows like Dora, they know how to get the audience's attention. They know their audience.
But they talk down to them.
Dora does on occasion, yes.
See, too bad Antonio's net went fuck off, because this is where he would be like, fuck you!
Yes. He's going to be listening back and going, fuck you, when this is up.
Disney, so we're talking cartoons, so we might as well talk about the king of cartoons. Disney.
And Disney is such a weird beast to take on.
That's going to be a show of its own. Because I know we have several guests that we can get on that know Disney better than we do.
Yeah, because I pretty much anything after Lilo and Stitch, I'm kind of lost.
Lilo and Stitch was their best movie, but just, okay, we went Disney Afternoon, mid-90s.
Oh, yeah, so like the Quack Pack.
Darkwing Duck, Quack Pack, Gargoyles.
Oh, Gargoyles, oh yes. I need new jeans now thinking about gargoyles.
Yeah. Life is like a hurricane
here in Duckburg.
I'm trying to remember the... I know the same song. DuckTales. Thank you. I was going to get there eventually.
DuckTales. Whoa. It's in my head forever now.
They had amazing storytelling. They never talked down to you.
No, they did not.
Of course, there was Mighty Ducks on the other end of that spectrum, but I'm in the minority. I thought it was a decent show. Not great, not a good Disney show, but a decent show.
Yeah, it was a decent show. It had good action. It was what it was.
Then we went into positive... You want to talk about positive role models? Kim Possible.
Yes, I loved Kim Possible.
Goofy sidekick. Still gets the girl, but it's still a natural feel.
Yes. Good villains. I mean, the villains were great.
Drago!
Yes. And even the movies were good.
Yeah, the movies were great. It started as a spoof of the spy genre. I mean, it has all the tropes. They even make jokes about the tropes. He's new to this. He's staying and watching us die. He must be new to this.
Yeah.
You know that.
I mean, it also spoofs the adorable sidekick pet perfectly.
Mm-hmm. The funny, the cutesy pet Rufus, who is basically a joke on Brain.
Yes.
From Go Go Gadget?
Yes, he is.
Because, seriously, if he's not fiction it, Kim is, right?
Yeah.
So he was the spoof of Brain. But...
And on occasion, Ron got his edge in.
Ron and Dragon... I can never pronounce his goddamn name. Dragon! It's not Dragon.
Yeah, Draven. God damn it, now I'm trying to remember how to pronounce it. I'm actually trying to look at... Yeah.
Dr. D.
Yeah.
Those two were honestly the villains for each other. Because Shigo was supposedly the sidekick, but she really was the one in charge. You know?
Definitely. She was the brains of the operation.
Again, didn't talk down to its audience. Engaged multiple generations at the same time.
Yes.
Well written, well acted. Showed that a woman could do anything a man could do, if not better.
And still be pretty because she was a cheerleader.
Yep. Kept that balance of way too far and way too close to home, you know?
Yeah.
Then they moved to Mickey. What else was playing at that time on Disney Channel? I didn't get Disney Channel for long, but...
I'm trying to remember. I watched like Kim Possible. I watched Gargoyles, of course. I watched Darkwing Duck.
Plus the classic cartoons whenever they would come on.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Darkwing Duck. Now I've got Darkwing Duck's theme stuck in my head. Which was a spoof of the Batman series and the superhero series. But it was so involved in its own mythos, you forgot it was a spoof.
Yeah, I think it forgot it was a spoof quite often.
Yeah.
Because, like, Negaduck, that started as a joke.
Oh, yeah.
But Negaduck became terrifying.
You literally went, oh, God damn it. When you heard Negaduck was in this episode. Oh.
Yeah.
God damn it.
He was an excellent villain. Oh, shit. Okay, possible blasphemy. Disney did that Hercules show. That wasn't bad, actually.
It wasn't bad. As a Disney cartoon, it was good.
Yes, and
as a fan of Greek mythology, it pisses me off.
Yeah, same here, but its take on some things was very interesting.
The spin-off cartoon for Lilo and Stitch.
That was good.
That was fun. That was just, okay, we have our own universe. He's 626. Let's have fun with it.
Yes.
When they have their own characters,
they do well.
They do fantastic.
Most of the time.
Most of the time, except Maleficent. God damn that movie.
Well, and I've heard some things about the current XD lineup.
XD... XD is Eisner's bitch.
It had some... it handled Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Yeah.
And I quite enjoyed Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Earth's Mightiest Heroes got canceled because it was a good show.
Yes. But they also kept advertising something that, as far as I could tell, was a child Evel Knievel, but fat.
Oh, Bud?
Yeah, Bud-tacular or something.
He was funny as shit.
I never watched it because the entire commercial seemed to lead up to a really, really poorly written fart joke.
Imagine Super Dave younger.
Okay, yeah, I could see how that could be good. Yeah, actually.
It was Super Dave, but younger.
Dave the Barbarian.
I stopped watching it after a while.
Not the best Disney show by far, but Dave the Barbarian could be fun.
It could be fun, but it got repetitive quickly.
It did, because the main joke was, the main joke is a damn D&D joke. He was a barbarian that wanted to be a bard.
Yeah.
But it had good moments. It had fun moments. It was...
Honestly, with his charisma, he should have had that. But...
Yes, but that wasn't the family job.
Yeah.
So that was a good Disney show.
It was an okay Disney show, but it started what I really think was part of the reason I stopped watching a lot of Disney. That repetitiveness. That they went from, we're going to make you think Lilo and Stitch. We're going to make you feel Lilo and Stitch. We're going to give you a good story, Gargoyles.
Yes.
We're going to give you characters you can't live without, and then we're going to kill them, Gargoyles.
Yeah.
Fuckers. We're going to tell the same joke 1,200 times until you laugh.
Yeah, they fell into the same thing that Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network have at times.
Yeah.
Cartoon Network is still in it.
So is Nickelodeon, from what I've seen.
At this point, I say I don't have TV anymore because I'm not paying for...
I'm not paying cable. Fuck no, I'll stream.
Fuck yeah, that's my opinion.
But I do have to go to the drugstore. They usually have Nickelodeon on while I'm waiting for my scripts.
Yeah, I mean, I see things online about things, and it's just like, I could see how this could be good, but I see who's doing it now, so no.
It's more about we've fallen in. So, yeah, all three of the big kids corps have fallen into the same trap they fell into the 80s. They're here to push merchandise.
And Nickelodeon was to take over Power Rangers, and what is Power Rangers but a live-action toy commercial?
Exactly. Which, I've seen the Super Sentai ones from Japan. Fuck you, Saban. Fuck you, Saban. Fuck you, Saban. Because the ones from Japan, though bit goofy like Power Rangers was, actually have decent storytelling. So fuck you, Saban.
Yeah. The Sentais are fun. The
Yeah.
Super Sentai is really fun.
So you understand exactly what I mean when I say fuck you, Saban.
Yeah, I understand quite well.
Oh, just... So, yes, to sound like, ladies and gentlemen, to sound like every other generation before us, cartoons are not what they used to be. And on
No,
that
they're not.
very depressing and disturbing revelation, I'm going to end the show. Wish you all very much a very heartfelt thank you for listening. Thank you,
And
Jake.
remember, everybody, you've got the touch. You've got the power.
Yes, and that's where we go next week. Next week, our guest is Adam McGregor, a fellow Transformers enthusiast, a fellow Lego enthusiast, and quite interesting all-around Canadian. Thank you to Antonio for joining us and on such short notice. Sorry that we lost him again. One of these years, we're going to get him on the show for a full goddamn show.
And by that time, we'll own Skype.
Fuck you, Skype. Keep on tuning in. We'll keep having the conversations. Thanks for joining us. It's been another episode of Tit for Tat.